So in the last class, we have discussed about various class concepts like we can define member function outside from the class. Object can be received as your argument. Object can be returned. What about friend function? Static members, static variables and static function defined inside the class. Many more. And the last session was very important. In the last class, I have requested all of you that please listen the previous session 2-3 times, implement the programs by your odd also. Uh, so let's move for today's session. So today we have to discuss some more concept about C++ class concept. So first of all, array of object. So what was array? Array was a collection of similar type of elements. I'm creating a class for a student, and let's suppose there are 100 students. So can I create 100 object individually? And for 100 object, I'll take values individually and display it individually. Can we not create the array of the object? Yes, we can. An object of class represent a single record in memory. If we want more than one record of a class type, we have to create an array of class or object. uh, how to create. So let's suppose there is a class name, and I need to create an array class name object, and then size. This is very similar. You are going to create an array of integer type. So int array name and then size. Same class name, object name, and then size. You can create the array. So let's take an example. There is an employee class which is containing 3 member ID name and age. ID name, age, and salary. 4 members. Sorry. There is a function get data which is accepting all the record. There is a function put data which is displaying name, age, salary, ID, everything. Now I have created 3 objects. Now running a loop 0 to less than 3 and calling get data method. Again I am running a loop and displaying put data method. And if you will see, the output will look like this. So first message will come, enter detail of first employee. You have entered the detail of employees like employee ID 101, name Suresh, age 29, and salary 45,000. Then again it will ask enter detail of second employee because you have run a loop and call the get data method. So second time it will run. And then ID you have entered 102, name Mukesh, is 31, and salary 51,000. Then it again asks enter detail of third employee. You have entered ID 103, name Ramesh, employee age 28, and salary 47,000. And all the information got displayed in the format you have mentioned in your program. So very simple. You can create array of objects. If you are going to create array of objects, you do not need to create individual object. And why array of object is required? Because if we have 1,000 number of objects, we cannot create it individually. Why not to create array of objects? Now, a new concept, a very important concept, constructor in C++. So what is constructor? Listen, constructor is a special member function. Now, why it is special? Because it is special because its name is same as the name of class. So if you are going to create any function inside the class which name is same as the name of class, that will definitely be a constructor. So constructor is a special member function. Why it is special? Because its name is same as the name of class. What is the purpose of constructor? As its name implies, constructor. It is used to construct, or you can say initialize the value of object while you are creating the object. I'm repeating. The purpose of constructor is to initialize the value of object at the time of creation of object. It has it has certain characteristics. First, you know that its name is same as the name of class. Second, it has no return type, even void. Look, very important point this is. If you are going to create a constructor, it should have no return type. If you will give return type, it's an error. So let's suppose you have created a class employee. There is a function return employee. That is a constructor. So constructor name should be same as the name of class. it should not have any return type. Third, you cannot call constructor by your own. It is automatically called. You do not require to call it. It will automatically, if you have created the constructor, it will automatically be called. When? When you will create the object of that class. So whenever you will create the object of the class, it will automatically get called. You do not require to call it. Whenever you will create the object, it will automatically called, and for every object it will be called. What it will do, it will initialize that object value. Another thing, now tell me, constructor will be defined inside private section or public section? Think for 10 seconds and then tell me, constructor will be defined in public section or private section? Definitely it will be defined inside public section, because if you will define it in private section, and I told that it will automatically called when you create an object. You are going to create object outside from the class, and if you will define it as a private, it will not get called. A compiler will generate an error. So constructor is always defined in the public section of the class. So let's take an example. If you will see, you will automatically understand. You are looking, the name of class is constructor demo, and there is a function defined inside the class constructor demo, and you are looking, it has no return type. That means it is a constructor. And you are saying, I have created an object obj. I am not calling any method. Constructor will automatically called, and the value of num will be initialized as 100, and the value of ch will be initialized as a. So when you will display it, it will be displayed 100 and a. Now, a constructor can receive the argument also. So look, constructor are of two types: default constructor and parameterized constructor. The constructor which does not receive any argument is known as default constructor, and the constructor which receives the argument is known as parameterized constructor. Yes, the question arises, we are not going to call the constructor, so who will pass the argument? We will see one by one, don't worry. So a constructor which is receive an argument is known as parameterized constructor. Now, how to call it? Let's see another example. I have created a class add. Now, this add class has a constructor add. You are looking, there is a function defined named add, which has no return type. Definitely it's a constructor, and this is not a normal constructor. This is a parameterized constructor which is receiving two arguments, num1 and num2, and inside the function definition it is adding num1 plus num2, displaying it. Now, there are two ways to call parameterized constructor. The first is called implicit calling, and the second one is called explicit calling. What is the meaning of implicit calling and what is the meaning of explicit calling? Implicit calling means what you will write, and explicit calling means what the compiler will understand. So in implicit calling, you do not need to do anything. While you will create an object, like you have created an object obj1, at the time of creation of object, you have to give a small parenthesis and then pass the argument. So you have passed 10 and 20. So this add constructor will, we all know that while we create an object, the constructor will automatically call. The problem was, because we were not passing the argument, that was an error. So it is required here to pass the argument also. So I am passing 10 and 20. So 10 will be receiving num1 and 20 will be receiving num2, and it will show you 30. Another line. So this is very similar to the previous line. The same thing is happening inside the computer. You can write like this, and this is called explicit calling. Add obj2 equals to add 5060. So 5060 will be received in num1 and num2, and 110 will displayed as output. So you can call the parameterized constructor by two ways: implicit calling and explicit calling. At the time of implicit calling, you just need to give parenthesis with the object and pass the argument. And for explicit calling, you need to create an object, then you need to write equals to, then constructor name, then you need to pass the argument. Now, the next thing is destructor. As its name implies, destructor. This definitely must be used to destroy anything. Let's suppose you have created some object in your program, and you return from your program. What obvious, that object is present in the memory and that is occupying your memory. Why not to destroy that object from the memory? To destroy the object from that memory, we use destructor. So destructor is used to destroy the unused memory from the unused object from the memory. Now destructor is also a special member function. Oh, special means its name is also name of class. Now how you will identify that this is a constructor or destructor? So destructor is always preceded with the symbol tilde. So tilde is just below the escape character. You can see in your computer or laptop. So syntax is what? Tilde. You are looking in the PowerPoint also, in the slide also. Tilde, class name, then curly braces on, their definition, and curly braces close. Now, tell me that destructor can be parameterized or not. No, destructor cannot be parameterized because we accept the parameter to initialize the things, not to destroy the things. So we can create only one destructor for a class. The destructor is this. So the question arises, when does the destructor get called? Again, it is called automatically, but when? When the program execution finishes or you come out from the curly braces. Look, curly braces is what? Where you define the local variables, and when you come out from this curly braces, these all variables get destroyed. So when you create an object within a curly braces and when you will come out from that curly braces, the destructor will automatically call. Or generally when the program execution will finish, destructor will call and destroy all the object which is unused. You will not see anything, but yes, destructor will be called. Destructor rules, name should begin with a tilde symbol and it should same as the name of class. It also has no return type. There cannot be more than one destructor in a class. Unlike constructor, they cannot have parameters. They do not have any return type, just like that constructor. So you are looking here, hello world. First, hello world is a constructor. Second, hello world is a destructor. And third is a normal member function display. So I have created an object obj. So obj.displayed. When I have created obj, constructor will be called. So the first line of output will be what? Constructor is called. Then I have called obj.display. Then display method will be called. The second line of the output will be hello world. And then you are coming out from the function. Now destructor will be called. And destructor will be called automatically and you will see a message destructor is called. That is just to see you what is happening inside background, that is destroying the object obj. So that is the working of constructor and destructor. Very simple. Constructor is used to initialize the value of object, to construct the value of object, and destructor is used to destroy the value of object constructed by constructor. Both is called automatically. Constructor is called when you create an object and destructor is called when you come outside from the function. So again, I'll tell every one of you that please practice of constructor and destructor. You should create the array of object also. Initially, you can copy the program from the slide or type it whatever you want. And after typing it, you can just compile it and run it. Many students are asking about PDF file or PPT. Look, you can download it from YouTube, that is a MP4 file, and then you can convert online MP4 to PPT. You will get the PPT also. I don't have because I have created this video file, but I have seen on Google that there is an option available. You can download it and then you can convert it into PPT. So thank you very much for the today's session. In the next class, we'll discuss further topics. And till then, thank you very much.